you've now got VNAV with cookie dough and chocolate sauce on the top of it as well. Hi everyone, and today we're going to take a look at a feature of VNAV, especially useful around descent. So if you haven't used this yet, do stick around, and it will change your perspective, certainly on how you manage your VNAV descents. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the descent page, and notice that that line is actually blank at the moment, and that's because when you're in VNAV Descent, the VNAV Descent will just populate something in there. It tends to go with a waypoint that's got a constraint. But what we're going to do is we're just going to look in the legs page, and I'm just going to pick out a particular waypoint here. So if I'm pronouncing this correct, great. And I'm going to pick Mercy at 4,000 feet. We don't need to bother with the above, because that's not the point of what this is trying to tell us. So we're just going to now go and drop that in there. And what you notice is that something called flight path angle, vertical bearing and vertical speed suddenly becomes alive. So let's have a look at the right hand side, the vertical speed. So currently 2,000 and rising. 1 is the rate of descent that we'd need to achieve if it was to go down now. So closer we get to top of descent, you'll notice that this will just keep on increasing. Next part, going into the middle there, is the vertical bearing. So that just shows the flight path angle needed in order to achieve that vertical speed. And as you'll notice, that's currently increasing too. See, now it's gone to 2.6. First item, and last in this explanation, is the flight path angle. Currently 0.0, and that's just because we're in straight and level flight. If we look up here to the PFD there, you see I've put the flight path vector on, and that's just showing that the current angle is 0 degrees. Not to be confused with the pitch there that's in the magenta, and we always fly with a certain amount of pitch, so typically around 2.5 degrees nose up. But point to remember is that even though the aircraft is orientated 2.5 degrees nose up, the actual effect of that in flight is we're flying straight and level, therefore 0 degrees is our current flight path angle. Let's just go back down to these figures here, and you can see then that the vertical speed is now 2,200 and rising, and the vertical bearing is now 2.7, and that will increase as well. But we are now approaching top of descent. We'll go down in VNAV down to Las Vegas. We'll go down in VNAV down to Los Angeles. As you can see, we've now begun our descent, so what we're going to do is just let this settle for a moment before we return back to that page there. Probably a good time now just to look at the flight path vector, and you can see now that that's showing that we are of course now descending. So you can see there it is kind of settled between the 2.5 and the 5 degree line of picture. So just let it settle. We've got ARM, LNAV, VNAV speed. So you can see now the flight path angle is showing a value, so it's showing 4.1, 4.2 even now, so that's not to be confused with the current vertical speed. As you can see, that's over 3,500 feet per minute, and this is just showing 2,590. So that now is just saying that to achieve Mercy at 4,000, that's the vertical speed that we need to achieve. So what you'll see in a moment, you see here we've got a vertical deviation. It's currently a bit high. What you'll see in a moment is the flight path angle. You see it now. That's just starting to reduce. So what we'd expect for a perfect kind of VNAV descent is this bit in the middle, and then we'd expect the flight path angle and the vertical bearing to line up there, and that's pretty much what's happening now. You see here the vertical deviation is next to nothing. There we go. Flight path angle, vertical bearing. Okay, another good example now. You could just see the flight path angle was around the 2.7 mark, and that's now increased as well, back to 3.1. The reason for that is it was just trying to claw back there that deviation, so it was just thinking there that we were just getting a bit lower profile. So what's it going to do? It's just going to raise the nose a bit, and that's the effect. But those figures there show us that we're on a nice vertical path to meet that constraint at 4,000 feet. So what you're seeing here, of course, is just a reminder really that we are measuring our progress down to this waypoint here, Mercy, and not the exact VNAV path. But what you'll see is kind of a great alignment with these figures here. So I do encourage you to start to use this, and so it's a great tool. Say if ATC comes along and gives you a waypoint and an altitude that they want you down, that they want you to meet, slap that in there, and you'll be able to answer the question straight away. Can we meet that? Now, what it's saying now, drag required. Am I going to go and pull out the speed brake? No, it's recovering already. Let's just check the speed. So, okay, so it might be there just to get the speed in check. So we're still in VNAV path, but let's just go ahead then. Just give it a touch of speed brake there, and you can see that we're just by doing that, we're just bringing back the speed there. You see the speed trend vector that's just showing. So what we got, 12,000 is next. Let's go down a bit further. Okay, so we're on the way down to 5,000 now, 2985, and just by giving it a bit of speed brake there, we've reduced the speed, and we're still on the VNAV profile. So another tool there that we could use is the green banana. Notice how that is now just moving away there. So why is that? Well, that's just indicating when we'd level off at 5,000, but as you can see now the aircraft's decelerating, so that will shift quite a way out for the moment. So what we've got, Mercy is 21 nautical miles away. Can we make that? Yeah, you can see on here we just need a nice shallow descent rate. However, what the we've got the green dot just here on the flight plan, so it is going to decelerate anyway, so you can expect a shallow rate of descent just while it sorts that out, and then down we go now. Rate of descent is increasing. You see now the green banana again. That's just before Mercy. So just want to keep an eye on it now, and if I see the power increasing, I'll probably go into level change. So just as a recap, that first green dot is just gives us this speed restriction here, 240 knots below 10,000 feet, and the next green dot just here is our actual deceleration point. Of course, I'm still going to do the maths myself, and using the 3-to-1 rule, so call it 7,000 feet times 3 gives us 21, so that's starting to feel probably just a bit tight there. So what we're going to do if we don't feel instantly right, well, we're going to communicate, and then we're going to do something about it. So I've got in level change, and I've just got a bit of speed brake out, and you can see as a result of that we're now just going lower than the VNAV profile, but that's fine. I'm just going to give myself some room there. So coming down to 5,000, and you can see there now Mercy. Let's make the two the same. As you can see now we're only 6 miles before that, so you can see the vertical, or the predicted vertical speed, is now very shallow indeed, and my actual flight path angle is 3.8. So just going to go stow the speed brake, vertical speed, wind the speed down, and shallow up there the vertical speed, MCP speed, vertical speed. So we'll just use this to slow down now. And as we're going to make a right turn in a moment, and this green arc here is my 11-mile range, that's why I wanted to intervene. A bit more speed brake, coming down now, 202 knots, altitude acquired. Going to arm the localizer and stow the speed brake. Don't want that speed now to increase, so we're going to go flat one. And flaps 5. And localizer. Going to arm the approach mode, and we've got glide slope capture as well, so speed there is nicely under control. Slight tailwind there of 5 knots, that's fine. Now it's adding a bit of power, that's fine. Let's have a look outside. Not a very clear day, I must admit. So as we've said here, we're about at the 11-mile point. Normally I would go a bit faster than that, but I just wanted to manage the energy, and knowing there that 4,000 feet, that would feel a bit like we'd need to do a steep descent there. Let's just remind ourselves of the final approach speed, which is going to be 145, auto brake 3. So you see the little white book here on the speed tape. That's your approach speed plus 20 knots there. Okay, let's go with flat 10.
2,500.
Coming up to the 7-mile point here. That's significant for me because by this point I want to have the landing gear down. Let's go gear down. That also triggers my script. I think, as I've said before, I'm just kind of consolidating a lot of the coding and removing some of it as well, so just so that I'm not being lazy. 165, we can keep that speed for now. Just going to move my throttles as well for when I hand flyers. Lap 15, lap 25, and flap 30. So the flight path vector, it's not a prime navigation aid, but you could just see there how it's just bouncing around a bit. It's quite interesting to watch that as well. Okay, auto throttle is disconnected. Let's just line up the throttles there. We'll go with 60% for the moment, and autopilot's disconnected. So we're landing on 24 right.
500.
Just a bit nose down a bit. You can see there it's just
400.
going to need to chase the glide slope there. and then just come back up a bit. Continue.
300.
Okay, so that's just ran away with me a bit there. No more than 1,000 feet though. A minute descent in order to catch that.
100.
Touchdown sounds very doable here.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
There we go. Reverse. Just use idle reverse there.
80 knots.
Checked. And reverse is stowed. Let's go again. Reverse is stowed. Manual braking. So I've just kicked out the auto brake there. 123 feet per minute. What I do is I'm more interested in whether I touch down in the touchdown zone. I'll leave that to the ones that are more interested on the landing rate and have zero interest in any other aspects of flying whatsoever. We landed on the final 500 foot of runway per hour, but we got a butter minus 23. Yeah, but then you ended up in a ditch, didn't you? Well, it doesn't matter because it looks so good. Yeah, okay. Probably the tree that you crashed into is in the exact part that you would find it in real life. Right, let's just bring up the airport map on my chart. I'm going to leave the strobes on, of course, because we're going to be crossing another runway there. And I think this is taxiway Yankee. And we'll go left onto Echo. So we'll just cross this this line here. 2 hours and 23 minutes. Let's just get rid of the terrain radar as well. I think the first officer's done everything else. Speed brake. So yeah, they've done a grand job of everything there. Touchdown threshold distance, absolutely fine. 1,500 feet per minute, that's what we want. Hardly any deviation. What was the pitch? Yeah, I'm very happy with that. So once you get it in the touchdown zone, nicely under control, you know what I'm going to say. That bit will bit will come automatically. You know, those smooth touchdowns will come automatically. That was more than acceptable. That's quite a soft landing for me. Okay, so as a recap, main point of this video was just to introduce that new feature there on VNAV. I've always thought that Boeing does a great job with the old VNAV and the displays, etc. But if you think of VNAV, you've now got VNAV with cookie dough and chocolate sauce on the top of it as well. So you'll be seeing me use that a lot more. Do like, subscribe. Any comments or questions, do let me know, and I will see you on a future video. Thanks again. And the subscription is really important because we're not far short of 300 subscribers, everyone. So let's get there for me, please. And again, thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.